today I'm going to be drawing for an forearm piece. It's going to be some kind of skeleton design. So the first thing I'm doing is just mapping out the rough size that I want for this piece. And I'm going to start by mapping out roughly the shape of the skull in the design. As you can see, I'm going pretty loose at first. That's okay. When I draw stuff, I usually start very rough and I usually adjust quite a bit before I commit to anything. Quite often I make the mistake of putting in too much detail early on and then I end up just erasing it and starting over, which is time consuming. Of course, and it's kind of annoying, but for me it's inevitable. It's a part of the process. So it's okay. If anyone has any tips on how to shorten that down, I'm all ears. So the customer has said he wants a hood of the skeleton. It's important to make some room for that early on, I guess. I don't really go for full realism usually, but more like a stylized intermediary thing. Realism, but also a little stylized, sure. Already I can see that this is supposed to be a hand. It's far too big and awkward in this space. So I'm just gonna remove that for now. I'm using my own arm just as a rough reference. You can probably figure that out for yourselves. I don't want the skull to look too aggressive. Okay, I'm gonna shut up for a bit now. So the skull is starting to have a pretty nice shape, I think. Again, it's not completely realistic. It's kind of exaggerated, and I like that look. I'm quickly blocking in some of the areas I know I want to be very dark, and in the final design that's going to create nice contrast. If you have some very dark areas, contrast nicely with the lighter areas, and it draws the eye in more. So here we're going to have a shadow from the hood, quickly creating some direction for the folds in the hood. The arm is still, or the hand rather, is still not really in the right place, it feels like. So these bones I'm creating right now will be that largest phalanges, I guess. Okay, at this point I think I'm gonna switch over to time lapse until I get to a stage where I'm a bit more happy with how this hand is sitting. So I'll be back filming again in a bit. Okay, so as you can see, the design is coming on nicely, I think. I've just sent a message with this very preliminary sketch to my client to see if he likes it, and I've also asked if I can stick some mushrooms in the design. I think that would be pretty awesome. But actually I don't know if that's such a hot idea to message my customer with questions like this. Sometimes it's better to just do it and see how the customer feels about it afterwards. It's a bit risky, but for most clients that I tattoo, it's just easier for them to see a sort of finished product rather than, you know, having a verbal, just the idea basically. So we'll see what he says anyway, but I might just put some mushrooms in this regardless and see how he takes it when I show him. So as you can tell from before, I completely changed the layout of the hand and everything. At the moment I'm trying to kind of get it to interact with the hood a little bit at least. That might add something. So we're gonna remove that fold there and create a new fold. It might even go over this thumb a little bit. That might look cool. Of course right now it doesn't look like much, but the idea is to have a kind of border on this hood with a sort of pattern here. So once we get that in place, hopefully it should translate that this is a part of the hood. As you can tell, I also like a lot of shapes in my drawings. I think it makes it a lot more interesting. It's appealing to the eye. It's a lot to look at, but it's also important to not overdo it. I hope this music is okay. I'm going to turn it down a bit. So far I'm really happy with the progress I've made today in this design, and I'm hoping my client is open to my suggestions, but we'll see. Now I think this design is becoming a bit bigger than my initial sketch. I want to finish it down here, so the bones from the hand kind of create a natural frame of sorts. But of course it's when I make the stencil, it's possible to shrink this all down a little bit. It also depends how big my customer's arms are. My arms are pretty small, so chances are his arms are going to be a bit bigger than mine, so I won't have to shrink it too much. But it's important to consider when you put your details in, how much is the overall design going to shrink down. Of course, if you make it too detailed, it's gonna create a lot of problems potentially when you go to do a tattoo of this. Just cleaning up a little bit to make it easier for myself to understand what's going on in the design so far. I think there's also room to make some of the vertebrae from the neck in the background here, although they're gonna have to be a lot darker. So what I'm gonna do now is Google some images of I think the cervical vertebrae, just for a quick reference. So bear with me one sec. So if I imagine the skull is coming out roughly like here. The attachment would sit approximately here. So again, this, for me, it's not important that this is 100% anatomically correct. It's just, it's a drawing, it's an artwork, but it's nice to have, to use some reference. Anyway, like I said, this is gonna be very dark. I think this is already starting to look pretty good. And again, like back here, we want solid black, so we'll just fill that in. Maybe I'll make this fold a little bit exaggerated to really get that this thumb bone kind of sits behind the fold. That's good. It's the first time I make a video like this with me talking over it, so we'll see how it goes. If you enjoyed it, if you are enjoying it and you're getting anything out of it, leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna try and make more of these. Okay, so since the last time I videoed, I've emailed a little sketch to the customer and asked him if he liked the mushroom idea, which he did not, so sadly I'm gonna have to just delete a little bit and adjust the design. Now he said he likes the idea of having a graveyard in the design, which I'm not sure about, but we'll see if I can make something with that idea, I guess. Just removing all the mushrooms. It's a shame, I really like that idea, but at the end of the day it's not going on my skin, so what can you do? So how can I fit a cemetery or gravestones of some kind into this design? I'm not really sure. So as you can see, I've started kind of smudging this softer pencil around quite a lot now. And I mean, it's okay for now, but I want to work on this, which is going to be a kind of graveyard scene. So I better put something down here to protect it. To avoid smudging, I'll just do that for now. See how that goes. And then maybe find a little graveyard. Okay, this is kind of cool. A bit too complex maybe, but it's a starting point. So let's see what we can do. Some of them can be a little bit fallen over maybe. Could look cool, no? That's a cool shape. Not quite sure what I think of this, but I'll experiment a bit more with it and see if I get to a place where I kind of like it. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how the graveyard on his head turned out, and I'm pretty much finished with this design, with the sketch at least. I'm gonna send it to the customer and hope he likes it. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll be back for more videos another day.